Hello and welcome to our spinal mobility workout. We're going to start off by laying on our back with our knees bent and our feet are flat. We are going to begin with some breathing. So hands around our ribs, and we're focusing on nice, gentle, deep breathing. So we're going to inhale, and as we inhale, thinking about expanding through the ribs, so not just the front, but we want the sides and especially through the back of the ribs. And then breathing out to compress everything, and then we're going to breathe in, expand all the way around the ribs and breathe out. So just flow through that, whatever feels good for your breathing rate. We do want it to be slow, but I want you to focus on that full expansion through the ribs as best you can. If you're stiff, it might feel a little bit weird to start off with, but that's okay. That's the point of this. And just focusing on nice long breaths in and out. You'll feel your chest rise as well, and probably your belly, and that's normal, but we really want to focus on those ribs. Now, we're going to do some pelvic tilting. So we're going to have our hands down to our waist, and we're rocking our hips forward and back. So as I tilt my hips forward, there's going to be a nice big arch through my back. And as I tuck my pelvis under, my back is flattening. But with this one, I want you to make sure as you tuck your tail under, so your tailbone, you're not squeezing your bum muscles to do all the job. You want those deep core muscles at the front and your spine to do the work, and your hips to tilt under, but we don't want the glutes to squeeze to do all that. So tilting back and forth, flowing through that as much as you can, as much as it feels comfortable, into that full range. And now we're going to go into full glute bridges. And we're thinking about each individual spine vertebrae, going back down. And same as on the way up. So from that pelvic tilt, you're going to tuck under, engage the belly, pull in one vertebrae up at a time till we're at that top range, and then going back down in reverse. So this is nice and slow, just go at a pace and that suits you, and really focusing. I find it helps if you close your eyes and you can feel into it a little bit better. So trying to get each vertebrae to slowly go down one at a time until you reach your pelvis. And then same on the way up. Start from the pelvis, lifting all the way up to the sternum, so the bony part of your chest. And try not to hold our breath when we do this one as well. Tucking the tailbone. This one you can squeeze your bum muscles because we're using hip extension to lift our hips up. Alright, from there we are going to move into our roll back. So there's two options. You can do like I'm doing here, holding onto your legs, rolling back, rolling forward using your hands as help. So use your hands as much as you need. Knees are together. Rolling all the way back to where you feel comfortable and that your back is not compromised, or that you're just feeling it in just the back area. We want the abs to be working here as well. So the whole time I'm staying curled, so the only time that I'm sitting up nice and tall is at the start here. Alright, so you can keep going with that one if it feels good. Otherwise, we're going to make it a little bit harder with straight legs. So you're going to have to go even slower so you don't just plonk on down. And same on the way up. So tuck the chin, curl, 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 sitting up nice and tall. So I like to have my legs together, squeezing my quads, pointing my toes, rolling down. On the way up, we're trying not to swing the arms around to use momentum. So if you need to, you can just bring your knees back up to make it a little bit easier, but then you can go all the way down. And as we chest lift up, we're breathing out, sitting up nice and tall, rolling down. So we're going to tuck our tailbone, rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Inhale and then breathe out as we sit up nice and tall. Awesome work. All right, so now we're going to go onto our hands and knees, and we're going to go into some cat-cow. So as we curl up to the ceiling in that cat position, I'm pressing my hands into the ground to separate my shoulder blades. And then as I go down into that cow position, like the arched back, I'm fully relaxing through my belly, poking my bum out. Head comes up if it feels okay. So I'm trying to go through as much range as I can. So as I curl up to the ceiling, tuck my chin, tuck my pelvis, separate the shoulder blades. Alright, now here we're going to do disco kitty. So we're going around in a circle. So it can be a little bit uncoordinated to start off with, but I like to think I'm drawing the circle with my rib cage. So I go up to the cat position, to the side, down, and then to the other side. So I'm just shifting my weight around. Now we'll go opposite direction to get the brain working even more. That's it. All right, so from here we're going to do our scap push-ups, so engaging through our belly. You're going to squeeze just the shoulder blades together, push them away. So when we do this, you can notice that my spine isn't arching and curling like it was in the cat-cows, and my arms are staying straight. It's my shoulder blades moving together and away against my rib cage. That's it. So we want to keep our belly engaged the whole time so we don't use the spine for this one. Just getting those shoulder blades moving nice. That's it. Awesome work. So now we're going to go into a downward dog. We're curling forward into a cobra if that feels comfortable for you. From there, I tuck my chin, curling back up into a downward dog. And curling through my spine to open up my chest in that cobra. So if that doesn't feel nice on your spine, you can still just go into a downward dog, but just go into a plank. So rather than curling out to a cobra, you're just going to push forward into a straight plank. And then over time you can work into that extension of the back, because for some people that doesn't feel quite nice if you've had any previous back injuries. Next we're going to go into the lunge position. So this one is actually called the world's greatest stretch. So there you can either put your knee down like I just showed you, or you can keep it up. And we're staying on that same leg, swapping both arms. And then I step back, change legs. Same thing again, that arm, I'm going to face into the leg first, reach to the sky, and then turn away, and then reach with my other hand to the sky. Put both hands back onto the ground, step back. And we're going to go back to the other side again. Lengthening to the ceiling, so I'm trying to get as much rotation as I possibly can through my back, and you'll get a deep pelvic stretch, and especially if your hamstrings are tight, you'll feel it all through the back of your leg of the foot that's in front. And as you do the lunge, that position there where I'm facing away from the front leg is usually harder. So when I turn, that might feel quite nice for you. And then as you swap hands and turn away, that'll really test that mobility that you have and your balance, because it can be quite hard to balance. lengthening to the ceiling as much as you can. Changing sides, extending to the ceiling. And coming out of that nice and slowly. Alright, so now we're going to do thread the needle. So thread one hand under, lengthen out to the side and have a few deep breaths here. Or hold it as long as you want. And then that arm that you threaded through is going to go up to the ceiling. And now other side. So you can see I'm fully resting my shoulder on the ground if you have that mobility. Otherwise, that's what we're going to work towards. And then lengthening up to the ceiling. So staying on our hands and knees, and we're going to go to our forearms and we're going to do some cat-cows here. This is a different variation of the one on our hands and knees. And it can feel quite nice if you do get sore wrists, but it also changes where you can move. So you're not shifting so much forward, you're really using the spine for this one. And not as much through the shoulders, so you have to use that extension more through the spine rather than squeezing the shoulder blades together. From here, we're going to do kneeling spinal mobility. So we're just going to go around. So hands behind our head, go to our side, rolling forward all the way to our other side and back up. So it's like a side crunch. And then we're going to roll forward all the way to the other side for a side crunch and back up. But the key with this one is as I'm rolling forward here, your bum will naturally want to go backwards to help. So we're trying to keep the hips in that exact same position. So open hip. So a closed hip is where you're bent. And now we're going the other direction. So I want you to work on that as much as you can. So crunching to the side. Now just working through the spine. And you'll notice that you won't be able to go as far down if you're not using your hips because it's physically impossible. That's it. Nearly there. And we are all done after that one. I hope your spine is feeling a lot better now. Bye.